Hey guys, welcome back to Bixby's Beer Reviews. Always fun to see you here again. Today we're going to be kicking off a new segment on the BBR. We're going to be calling it BBR Labs. The point of BBR Labs is instead of focusing on some of the ingredients that you're seeing in your beers, we're going to be focusing on the techniques that get applied to them. Now we're going to be looking at malts and some brewing techniques, but really what we're going to be looking at least to start with, are some of these new and interesting hop processing techniques that lead to some interesting words on your cans. Now, I think it's a great advancement in craft beer that so many of the beers we get, and particularly the hazies we get, have the hops listed right there on the can so that you know what kind of flavors you're going to be getting. But lately, I've been seeing a lot more cans that also happen to say things like T90 or Incognito or Cryo in front of the particular hop varietals they're advertising. And what does that all mean? What are you supposed to do with that information? So we're going to be starting it out with a pretty easy one today, an easy one to parse. So let's get to our beer from a couple of the very creme de la creme of hazy producers. That would be Equilibrium up in New York State and Horus Ales out in California. We've got Hyla Versicolor. Now, Hyla Versicolor, 8.5% double New England IPA, has some really fun hops going on. It's got some Citra, Mosaic, Sabro, and Idaho 7. So a lot of interesting hops we've already checked out, but the key here is that all four of these hops are LUPOMAX. What does LUPOMAX mean? Well, we're going to crack this beer up and we're going to take a look at it, and we're going to talk about what that means when you see it on your beer can. So LUPOMAX, like a lot of these words you see appended to hop varietals, is a proprietary hop processing treatment. Comes from Haas, which is a big grower of hops up in the Yakima Valley. And what it basically means is they process the hop pellets to eliminate some of the vegetal matter that you normally see in either a whole cone hop or in a traditional pellet. Of course, the flavors and aromas we like from hops comes from the lupulin in the hops. The problem is that that's not the only thing hops contain, and particularly an off flavor that I really don't like, that I notice in hazies I'm not fond of, is a sort of grassy astringency that you can get. I think it's very common in overly citra hopped beers. That just comes from all of the vegetal matter that gets dumped in the beer to get all that lupulin out of it. So LUPOMAX is a way of kind of condensing the hop pellet down a little bit smaller, so you get more of the hop flavor you want on a more consistent basis from each hop, and less of the stuff that you don't. So we're talking about the treatment because, again, classic New England IPA appearance. Not much to say about it. Let's give this beer a smell. This is a righteously citrus smelling beer, just incredibly pungent and powerful. I'm getting big orange and tangerine aromas. Just the whole gamut of sort of sweet and sour that comes with citrus fruit, and then a little bit of the bitter pith too. It's like a wonderful garnish in a cocktail here. That fresh little bit of orange peel that you get on the nose of a really fruit-forward cocktail. Oh, this beer smells delicious. I cannot wait to taste it, so I'm not going to. We're just going to dive right in here. So, certainly get the big citrus flavors that I just talked about, but the beer is a little bit more restrained than the aroma, and it's a little bit more balanced in terms of where the flavors go. So like I said, I'm getting that orange, but it's dialed back a little bit, and sort of the fruity pebble character of Mosaic it gets a lot more room to play. I'm certainly getting some sort of candyish strawberries here. Very interesting flavor that I don't necessarily associate with this hop combination. And also just a little bit of that Sabro kind of coconut in the background. It's more of an earthy, kind of restrained supporting role here. But it does give a nice bit of contrast to those big citrus flavors from the Citra and the Idaho 7. So it's a very well-balanced beer, but it's overall a very powerful combination on the flavor too. Not quite as much as the nose. I mean, this is one of the most, I can smell it from over here. This is a very, very powerful smelling beer. But again, a very well-balanced beer, and in the end, a very, very tasty beer that brings together exactly the flavors I expect from these hops used in really good combination. So if you see the word LUPOMAX, nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing weird going on with the hops. Honestly, I think really the best way to think about it is it's more of a feature for the brewer than it is for you, because by getting those more condensed hop pellets, not only are they getting a more consistent and uniform amount of hop flavor or hop character per use, so they can dial in for larger batches and making sure they're getting the uniform and consistent output that they want from their hops. Also, smaller pellet means it soaks up less beer during the dry hopping process. You throw tons and tons of normal hop pellets into a beer, you're going to lose a lot of that beer before you can package it just to getting soaked up into the hop pellets. So if you're looking at a beer that has like this, like 4 hops, 5 hops, 6 hops, LUPOMAX maybe gives you a little bit more of a guarantee that you're going to get the impression that the brewer intended, because the brewer knows that the LUPOMAX hop is going to give them a certain amount of hop impact per barrel, or I guess I'd say hop impact per pound of the hop that they use, and so that they can dial it in a little bit easier without worrying about whether this particular shipment of hops is exactly what it was last time. So thanks for joining me. Love checking out these fun new topics in craft beer, even if I have to do a little science research to learn about them. But as always, like, share, and subscribe. Look forward to see you next time. Bye now.